everybody, Tim W. Rago here, games, movies, and vlogs. How the hell is everybody? And welcome to episode 7 of Tremors Effects. And holy shit, once again we are in the era of Don Michael Paul, the director of Tremors 5 Bloodlines, now gives us the even more insane next entry in the Tremors universe. Wow. Welcome to Tremors, A Cold Day in Hell. Wow, like, I just got done watching this movie, now going on an hour ago, and this movie is even more apeshit than, Bloodlines. I mean, this is the, I don't know if this is a poster. I don't even know if there's a poster of this movie even existing. This is the DVD cover, actually, but yeah, the graboids they have the same designs as they did in 5, but they're colored a lot differently. As one can expect from the title, Cold Day in Hell, it takes place well, you can just tell, you know, by the DVD cover here, it takes place where there's snow. So it's like, huh, okay, that's an interesting place to put Tremors. So, like, the whole, well, here we go. See, here's a shot. This is literally at the start of the movie. Like, these geologists find graboids under the ice and they get attacked, and Burt Gummer is called out to stop them. Like, literally, that's the entire plot of this movie. But then there's ass blasters, and the ass blasters, they have the same designs as they did in 5, just like the graboids, so that's very interesting, to be perfectly honest. But here's the whole thing. Do you notice the coloring difference? Look at this graboid, and then remember the graboid from 5. The ones in 5 that were in Africa are brown. They're brown with some green in them. Well, these are like blue and white. And once again, this movie builds up on more Tremors lore. Oh wow, that rhymed. Yeah, it built up on the lore saying that these graboids are the very first ones. Like, these are older than the graboids that were in Africa and the ones in Perfection. So, wow, now we got these ancient graboids that were awakened by, they don't specifically say global warming, but they say, like, the melting of the glaciers in the Arctic has woken these things up. So, they don't specifically do the whole global warming thing, but they go, it's just so crazy, though, that Tremors has now gone with the, one of the oldest monster movie cliches ever. The cliche of prehistoric creatures that were frozen for millions of years thaw out and start causing, and start messing shit up. Like, okay, that's one of the biggest cliches ever, but at the same time, it's, I don't know, I really don't know what to say about that, to be perfectly honest, like, because it's happened in a lot of monster movies. Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, anybody? But the main thing, though, that I am here to talk about is the special effects and, of course, other stuff, you know, to make this review less boring. Now, just from this screenshot alone here, and the many other screenshots that are to follow, the CG is just as good as it was in Bloodlines. I mean, seriously, look at this particular screenshot. This right here is just like, wow. Like, it's so crazy that Universal, you know, doing straight-to-DVD movies can do amazing CG. Like, here we go. Here's the Arctic Ass Blaster. Even though it just has the same design, like, as mentioned, same design as Bloodlines, which is really interesting. But what's so funny, though, is, like, where are the Shriekers? Like, seriously, they just, like, show the graboids and the ass blasters, but everybody knows the whole cycle of these things to get an ass blaster, you need a shrieker. So where the hell are the shriekers at in the franchise? Like, so far, I mean, the shriekers have not been seen since the TV series. So I'm hoping in this franchise, you know, that they bring it back. So anyways, it's like, well, I'm just playing with you. I know the shriekers come back in the next chapter. I'm just messing with you guys. I know the shriekers come back finally, but let's not jump ahead here. We're focusing on 6 right now. And it's just so crazy, though, how far the franchise has come. I mean, the fact that, like Godzilla, how he's getting this whole new continuation of his franchise, it's amazing that a lot of movie franchises are getting continuations or remakes or something, and Tremors is no exception. And what's so crazy, though, is like the coloring on the Arctic ass blaster. I almost said graboid, sorry. I don't know which color scheme is better, the African ass blaster or the Arctic one. I think the Arctic one looks cool because now looks a little better, because now looking at it, you can kind of see like there's black spots on its legs, kind of like a snow leopard, I guess. But the one thing that they sadly do not do, they did it in Bloodlines, but it sucks they didn't do it in this one, is show the ass blaster's point of view. Like, everything is, when it tracks people and it sees their body heat, it's just so weird that they didn't do that in this movie. Because every time that they've shown those shots with shriekers and ass blasters, the shots look cool. So I'm just shocked that they did not, well, not shocked, surprised really, that they didn't do that in this entry. But like I said, the CG is just as great, if not better than Bloodlines here. But it's just so weird looking at the ass blaster again. I mean, knowing that this is the new designs of the ass blasters, and then look at everybody remembers the original ass blasters. It's like, wow, this whole redesign of them. I mean, the graboids, such in this crazy ass shot. The graboids, like, you can tell, it's like, okay, yeah, that's a graboid, right? But the ass blasters are just like so radically different. But seriously, but it's just the whole design choice for the ass blasters from Bloodlines to here is just, huh. I mean, they look cool, but the head change is just so radically different. And one thing, though, about this movie, is, okay, the CG is great, like mentioned, I think, twice now, but like every other entry in this franchise, or legacy, sorry, there is no shortage of monster gore. Oh my god, this movie takes the monsters blowing up to a whole new level of holy shit. There is monster guts splattering everywhere. I mean, it sucks. I didn't get a screenshot, nor can I show the video clip or the movie clips on here. It sucks I can't show them, because seriously, the way that the graboids die in this movie. Well, actually, let me talk about the ass blasters before I talk about the graboids. Their deaths are, the ass blasters, the way they die is very interesting. Like, the first one has a dogfight with a little privately owned little airplane that's flying Burt Gummer and Travis Welker, once again played by Jimmy Kennedy. Well, you saw that on the DVD cover, never mind. This one Canadian woman is flying them into the Arctic here, and an ass blaster comes along and has a little dogfight with them, but then it runs smack into the propeller, spreading its guts all over the plane and blowing the engine. So that monster was a complete dumbass, but the way the second ass blaster dies is it gets blown up. Like, Burt Gummer shoots it, and a couple of the other characters shoot it, and it blows up in a fury of fire. And oh, one little side note about this movie is that it mentions a couple of things from the TV series in 3. It mentions stuff from the original movies, like Burt Gummer manages Walter Chang's market, and Travis Welker mentions that Jody is staying up in some law firm in Reno. So that's really interesting that they mention what's been going on in Perfection, but where's El Blanco? Where the hell is El Blanco? Seriously, I really miss that graboid. And then on top of that, Valentine McKee and Rhonda LeBeck had a daughter, and that daughter's in this movie. So at least they're doing new stories with each entry in this legacy here, but also like keeping in good continuity, which is amazing. I just wanted to mention those two things because that's crazy that it's like, oh good, they mention what's been going on with everybody over the years. Okay, and also for the graboid deaths, the first one gets blown up with explosives strapped to an ATV, and the graboid goes after the vibrations and eats it, and just explodes in blood and guts everywhere. The second one gets blown up with the electricity, kind of like how the last graboid died in, what's the graboid? The Queen Bitch from Bloodlines, with electricity, except this time it's underground. And then there's this graboid here, who, one of the characters, his name is Whackhammer. Literally, that's this one human character's name. He's hilarious. He called this thing, he named this graboid Sally Soul Smasher after his ex. I don't know, it's just so weird. I don't know, I don't even know what to say to that. But this graboid apparently has a name. So, what happens is, Burt Gummer almost dies. Literally, Burt almost dies. And they show flashback scenes. They literally show stock footage from 3 when Burt got eaten by the graboid. And they now say that graboids are venomous? Yeah, that's new. Graboids are apparently venomous. Okay, and then the whole movie is like Burt just starts having these crazy, like, panic attacks, and he starts passing out and everything. He nearly dies, and then they explain that somebody has to go into where the venom is inside a graboid, extract a sample of venom to make antibodies for an antidote. And that's where Sally comes in here, alive, at first, with the wire hanging out of her mouth, and then hanging out of it. And then here's the gland. At least the gland wasn't in the prostate. Yeah. So they actually capture this graboid alive. Literally, for once. Remember, like, in 2 and 3, they kept on talking about capturing a graboid alive? Well, for once this movie actually pulls it off. Like, wow, Tremors actually pulls off capturing a graboid alive. And that big, yellow, nasty thing on the back of this graboid's throat is the gland where the venom is. And one thing, though, I'm really shocked, is there's a puppet. There's a graboid puppet right here. And that, I think, is definitely a great fan service, because when you start going into Tremors, they use a lot of puppets. And then you got 5 and 6. I mean, the first 4 movies use puppets, and then, well, with 2, 3, and 4 in the TV series, it's half puppets, half CG. But, yeah, they still use puppets overall. And then number 5 was all CGI. And then going into this movie, you think like, oh, number 6 is all CG. And then at the very end, here's this puppet, which is super well detailed, very disgusting. But the mouth tentacles were CGI coming out of this thing, so that's very interesting. And this thing is just all disgusting. This whole puppet is just gross. And I thought the puppets from 3 were gross when Burt Gummer got chainsawed out of the graboid. And then the way Sally dies is they shoot a drone, not a drone, but a little remote-controlled airplane lined with explosives, and they shoot it into this graboid's mouth after saving Bert's life, and then Bert pushes the detonator button and just blows this thing all to hell. So it's like, but like usual, blood and guts are all over the place with these graboids. It's like the most insane graboid deaths so far of this legacy. Like seriously, like every entry of Tremors always has monster guts splattering everywhere, but this movie just like just ups the ante a little bit and kind of over exaggerates it some, but it's still awesome to watch. So yeah, Tremors, A Cold Day in Hell. It's just one. If you are a diehard Tremors fan like myself and you are still pushing through this franchise out there, this movie kicks ass. Don Michael Paul, once again, I applaud you for this entry in the legacy here. Thank you, and I can't wait till I review the next one. Once again, directed by him. So yeah, Tremors: A Cold Day in Hell, straight up 10 out of 10. Great special effects work. Except at one thing I didn't mention is like at the very beginning when you can tell that they filmed in a desert. They said it at the behind the scenes that they filmed in a desert in South Africa, but with CG they added snow to it and then they colored it all different so it looks like they're in the Arctic. So that's my one effects con, is that they could have put a little more work into that to make it look like they're in the Arctic instead of, okay, yeah, I can tell that's a desert. So that's my one effects con with this. So, yeah, one great movie, great special effects work, except the opening. So, except the snow in the opening. So, yeah, please like, share, sub, this channel, Movie Reviews Library. Follow me on Instagram, Lizardman2021. And then zillager@gmail.com. Email me for video requests. So this is Tim W. Radio, and I will see you next week with Tremors: Shrieker Island, folks.